got a coordinate grid, you all drawn it?
Yep.
Right, what we're going to do is let's put 2 points. I'm going to do mine with highlight, but it doesn't really matter. Let's put 1 point at 2, 4. Okay. And let's put another one at, should we do negative 6, 2. I call my A and B my points. Okay. Right. So what's the distance between A and B is the question. Okay. What's the distance between? You can write that below. Yeah.
So you can use Pythagoras with your
Exactly. You know what's coming. Don't you? We're not stupid. If I just draw a line, an arrow here that, actually I won't use an arrow, I'm going to use a line because we used to say that. If I actually draw the line, the distance that I want to measure, right, you can see then it kind of makes sense. Alright, okay, I see what's coming on. Right, if I then do, this is my x distance, and the x distance goes from negative 6 here across to 2. So what is that distance? 8. So that distance is 8. Right. And then if I go up to finish my right angle triangle, right, I'm going from 2 up to 4. Right. And that's a distance of 2. So, David, you said what's the length of this line?
10. Oh, you have to do 8 squared and 2 squared.
Yes.
Oh, my age.
8.24.
We don't add those two numbers together, right? So, remember, it's a right angle triangle because we know it's right angle because we're on a coordinate grid. So what we know is that 8 squared plus 2 squared equals, I'm going to write my notation as AB, meaning the distance A to B, squared. Alright? So I've not used my A, B's and C's. I've used my A to B notation, so I know it's A to B. But then we do exactly the same thing that we've been doing before, which is 64 plus 4 is AB squared. So that's 68, which means the distance AB is the square root of 68, which is, what is it, 8.24, did you say?
Yeah, 8.24.
Is that rounded correctly? What comes after the 4?
It's 6.
So it's not 8.2.
6.2.
It's not 8.24 then, is it?
2.5.
2.5. So what my tip would be, guys, when you're doing assessment, and I would like to do it when I'm taking notes, is let's write the number without rounding it yet. So what is it before rounding? 8.246. Some of you are staring at me like I know this off the top of my head. You're the ones with the calculators. You do it and tell me. 2, 1. What?
1.
Another one. Alright,
3, 5.
that'll do. Alright. So now, once we've written that, I can put a few dots to show, I can then say it's rounded, and now I know that I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. You want that? Or 3 significant figures? So now I can do is 8.2, and the 4 gets rounded by the 6, so it's 8.25. The reason why I say to do that is because we can check. Like when I want to check your work, I can also check your rounding is correct rather than just say, sorry, you're wrong. Alright? If you put 8.24, I would disagree with your answer. Okay? Yes, ma'am. So if we go back up there, that distance there is 8.25. How do you feel about that? Kind of fine? It's no new skills, is it? It's just applying it in a slightly different way.
Subtly different.
Yes?
When we were working it out, why did we have to put A, B all the way down?
Because I do, so I don't get lost and I don't make a mistake because I'm not writing my working down. Just because that's what it's equal to. It's not equal to nothing. If I leave that out just because I'm being a bit lazy, there's a good chance that I might forget that there's an even equals there. And we just get into good habits. We write down, we communicate thoroughly. All right. Right, let me just give you another example of how this question could go. All right, so you've done it with a grid. Right, is everyone okay? Is there anything you need to write down at that stage? No? Okay. Let me give you a different question. So 2 points, P and Q have coordinates 3, 7, Q's at -2, -1. Find the distance from P to Q. So we have no grid given. Any ideas what we could do to solve this problem?
It's
You can make it.
You could make a grid. That's one way. I mean, actually, to be honest, I do a bit of a mix between sort of doing a grid and using the numbers. All right? I'm quite a visual person, so I like to have diagrams and things. But I know I don't necessarily need to have everything drawn accurately. Right? How do you reflect on yourself? Do we need to do this accurately, or can we do it in a maybe rougher approach? Are we all happy with that?
Yeah.
Some of you might decide, no, actually, once we've gone through this slightly less kind of, not structured, it's still structured. What? This approach I'm going to say, you might say, actually, no, I want to actually draw a grid. There is a problem with that, which is when the numbers get a little bit too big or difficult to actually draw a grid in your book. We would like to develop it. At the moment, you make a choice. But let me talk you how I would do this problem. Some people would do this without a grid at all, and you might end up being that person, which is fine. Now, all I do, right, is this. I do a little rough sketch of a grid, like this. I don't put any numbers as such. It just gives me a good idea where P and Q should be. So I'm just going to put P, 3, 7, it's about up here, right? Point P is at 3, 7. And you can see that's not correct on my scale, right? I don't care though. I just want to see roughly where it is. That's how my brain works. And then Q needs to be down here somewhere, yeah? At -2, -1. Now, actually, that one's could be in the right place, right? But I'm not so worried. I just actually want to see. The reason why I want to see is now I put my line in. Different colour, like. All right. I'm still going to then draw the triangle. All right, so I can visualize.
Yep.
So I can visualize what's going on. And I'm then going to say, right, just like I did up here, I actually could see, but we didn't really need those coordinates. We just need the actual coordinates of the points, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, on this one, I could say, right, this length here is dealing with the
First two numbers.
exactly this number and this one. And then this length here is dealing with this number and this one. All right, does that make sense? So this number here, I'm at -2, and I'm going to go across to 3. So what distance is that?
5.
5. So I can put 5 there. And this one is at -1 and goes up to 7. So what's that distance? That's an 8, so I put an 8 there. So I've got the numbers I need without even drawing it 100% accurately on the axis. Does that make sense? So I'll pause and let you draw that. So 5 squared plus 8 squared, pq squared, 25 plus 64. Not going to let me write. So you now know that pq will be the square root of 89. 9.43. Then you round that.
9.43.
Yep.